Yeah, it was good to go down the MCG and get a win. We haven't won there many times, so yeah, it's a good feeling. I think we've obviously got Carlton this week, and we need to back up again. So they're going to be tough. They played really well on the weekend, beat GWS.
How's that feel in the club at the moment? After you get that win, there's obviously brings you a bit of confidence, but it's about getting that consistency, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it's good to get the win, but we're not completely satisfied with how we went about it. We were happy with the first half, and then the last quarter let him back in it. So I think it's good growth in the group to say we got the win, but we're disappointed with the last quarter and letting him to get that close in the end.
You're probably steady 2 weeks in a row when the opposition looked like sort of running over you. What do you take out of that?
I think it's just good practice for the boys to be put in those situations, and we'll manage to 2 weeks in a row respond and be able to get the 4 points. Ideally against Hawthorn we stop it a lot earlier and not let them get them so close. So the boys did feel walked off the ground disappointed in that area, but I think there's positives come out of it. We'll manage to ice the clock in the end and win the game.
Chance for 3 in a row this week and put you right back into the finals. Race. Do you sort of realise the gravity of this weekend?
Oh, every week's a big week. You see this year in the AFL that there's been upsets every week, so it's going to be, Carlton's going to be tough, and they beat top of the ladder GWS on the weekend. So yeah, it's the last month's been a massive games for our season, so it's no different this week.
Tom, going back to that fourth quarter, what do you say to the guys as co-captain? How do you sort of keep them pushing in those final minutes?
I think the boys are really motivated to win, so it wasn't so keep pushing. It's just across the ground we've got to keep sure our structures and adhere to the game plan and not get too overwhelmed in what's going on. So I think the boys managed to do that. Against West Coast we looked at a couple of things we could have done better, and we managed to do them better on the weekend in those tense last few minutes.
And is that because you've got a few younger heads? Do you think that you do get unsettled in those final minutes and it does come down to trying not being overawed by the situation?
Oh, I think it's pretty frantic when it's 5 minutes to go and the game's in the balance. So I think you look across the league, a lot of times they say the experienced guys stand up. So I think it's good practice on the weekend to be able to stem the flow and be able to come away with the 4 points.
Tommy, it's pretty congested on the ladder at the moment. I think there's only 8 points separating 13th and 4th. How important is that for you guys? I guess you're a little inconsistent at the start of the year, but going forward and having to push for the finals, how nice is it that it's actually not that far away?
Yeah, that's right. We, as I said earlier, it's a massive game for our season this weekend again. The last few weeks have been the same story. So it's a tough, even season, which is great for the AFL, and every game's hard to win. So I think we need to get the consistency, which we've been disappointing this for the first half of the year, and hopefully be more consistent in the second half.
Do you reckon that congestion in the ladder makes it a bit easier to get in the finals this year, or a bit harder? Or
I think it's going to be tough to get in the finals this year with everyone so even, and there's so many from first to 18th. It's tough opposition. So I think it's a tough year. It's the closest year I could remember in recent memory. So it's really going to be tough in this second half to be able to get enough wins and push for those finals.
Tommy, sorry mate.
Yeah, and Carlton, how do you approach that one with them being a little lacklustre in the last couple of weeks and then upsetting GWS?
Oh, they were super on the weekend. They knocked off GWS, and GWS was top of the ladder. So it's going to be tough, really tough. So it's good to get back here, the Metricon on home deck and in front of our fans. And if we don't bring 100% effort, we won't come away with the 4 points.
You had a really big night against them a couple of months ago, personally, but generally their defence is quite good. What makes them so difficult to score against generally?
I think they just set up really well behind the ball, and they make sure they get the numbers back and protect. So they defended really well on the weekend. They have over the whole time Brendan Bonds has been there pretty much. So they're going to be tough to score against, and at times we might have to go a little bit slower, and then if we get a chance, we really need to go quick and get it in if we've got even numbers. So I think they sort of set it up pretty similar to Hawthorn. So obviously Brendan Bolton and Alex Clarkson. So we sort of had a little bit of a look of taste of what they're going to do this weekend.
And so against West Coast as well, you probably chipped it around a bit and didn't go quick enough. Do you think you've learned from those last 2 weeks to how you can move the ball a bit better maybe against Carlton?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, we've had a good practice, so we know if you do get held up and go slow, they're very good at turning the ball over and they'll get you on the rebound. So when we do have that chance, we'll need to go quick and get in the forward line when it's even numbers.
Mate, how hard is it to actually gauge what your opponent's going to bring? Because we've seen so many upsets and so many varied performances. Obviously, you expect the best from each team, but how hard is it to actually get a reading on what you're going to come up against each week?
I think we've been one of the most inconsistent. We've been very inconsistent throughout the year, so personally I think it's more up to us of what we bring. I think most clubs are saying that as well. They're saying if we bring our effort, we give the best chance of winning. So we know we need to come out and defend really strongly, and then when we attack really well. So it's going to be tough this Saturday night against Carlton, but I think if we get our minds right, we give ourselves the best chance of winning.
In your opinion, do you think the club should be making a final from this position?
I think we've got a long way to go yet to be thinking about finals. We're only 5 and 6, so it's a massive game for our club to try and get back to 6 and 6 and give yourself a good platform for the second half of the year.
A couple of seasons ago, you were in a similar position where you were on that edge of the 8, and then you fell away quite dramatically in the second half of the season. As one of the leaders of the team and guy who was part of that team back then, what did you learn from that? What are you trying to, for the second half of the season, tell the younger guys about what you need to do to really finish the year well?
I think it's up to us. We've got to be more consistent. First half of the year we haven't been anywhere near enough consistent as we would have liked, and we've had up and down games, and some really bad losses really stood out. So against Port Adelaide, GWS, we got touched up pretty easy in Adelaide as well. So I think we just got to keep working on being more consistent each week, and then wins and losses will look after themselves.
Obviously, when you had the film review, what was the reaction amongst the boys when they saw Sardi run from 20 metres behind the 2-on-1 and then the ball and save a goal like that?
Yeah, we really rate that highly. That out of play run was super by Adam Sardi. He did it the week before against, I forgot who his opponent was, but it was 2-on-1 in the back 50, and he peeled off his man to make the intercept and get it over the boundary line. So he's really added that to his game. We know he's got good pace, and when he's running with the footy, he's good play, but he's really added that defensive element and really prides himself in that area now.
Does it make life easier when you've got the film review and you can just point, you can actually point to someone doing this is exactly what you've got to do rather than telling them in a sort of general way? You can actually inspire the other teammates? Yeah,
definitely. I think all the boys got a massive lift on the game, not only in the review. So I remember seeing that and I thought that's a massive effort by Adam to be able to put his head down, and it would have been a certain goal. So we really rate that highly, so it's great.